Guys, we're going to talk about the shakedown today. A lot of you American bully people always shaking somebody down, trying to give them a hard time, make their life difficult. I want to make sure those people who are getting into this space, which again I don't recommend, you understand the shakedown. So let's put one shake. We're just going to use one shakedown scenario today, okay? And T-Fit here with Fit Bully TV. You want to like, subscribe, and potentially share this with a homie of yours who's gotten bamboozled, hoodwinked, hornswoggled. I'm going to say this respectfully, raped, just because somebody was trying to screw you over with some money. So, young man reached out today. He's one of the guys that in some form or fashion I kind of mentor. And do I mentor people? No. If you buy a dog from me, you can call me anytime. Ask me any question. Outside of that, no, I don't. I'm not really into the mentor side of things. I don't want to be bothered like that. So, he says, hey, guy wants me to pay him for a pup. And the pup's $12,000. We got a $12,000 pup. On the pup, I want a female, right, Trev? So I want a female. He says when she has a litter, we'll split the litter. Some people even require, basically make you choose. They get to choose the boy you go to. But if you have a female with the pup you bought for $12,000, they're either going to make you, well, split the litter realistically means split the profits. So I'm going to help you promote and sell the dogs, but either way it goes, we're splitting the profits here. Now, one of the reasons which I understand that some people split the profits is to ensure that the value of their pups or their program does not go down. Does that make sense? If you sold me a dog for $12,000 and I sell all the pups for $3,000, hey, try. Move. If I sold you a pup for $12,000, you sell him for $3,000. This right here has 4 times less than what I believe the pups are worth. Which then, in some form or fashion, increases the value of your program. Why? Because they go, why would I go buy a pup from you for $12,000 when I can buy one from this guy for $3,000? And it's the same dog in some form or fashion. It's got the same DNA, the same pedigree, the same this. It's not the same, but that's what they believe. Now, there's 2 ways to look at this. In this case, I don't agree with this right here. I don't do pup back deals. I breed to create Jordan and we move on. When I say Jordan, means we pick the best dog and we have to move forward. Anything beyond the dog that we need to build our dream dog, our dream program, it's neither here nor there. We just have to move on. So we don't get into the semantics of, that's my dog, that's what I produce, that's such and such. I don't care. We just want to take care of our dogs, love our dogs, protect our dogs, and keep enjoying our dogs, to say the least. But the shakedown happens oftentimes on, hey, bro, move. Pup back deals, another one. And depending on who you own in this situation, let's say the person says, hey, I'm going to own the dog. I'm going to keep the dog's paper until I get a pup back. Oh, man. Now you got a guy who's literally like, I'm not giving you your papers. I'm not doing this. I want to see another one. I don't like the way that breeding went. Oh, it can get ugly in these situations right here. And I would also encourage you to don't do this if you can help it. Co-own, especially any females. If you have to co-own a male. Never any females. If you co-own a female with somebody, for one, you probably can't find a female. And whatever you do, don't give them the papers if you're the one saying, I want to co-own the female with you. Because if you give them the papers, what ends up try and move. What ends up happening is you turn around and you might not be able to find them. Ooh, I really want to take it to this stud. I want to use this stud. These are all shakedown scenarios where in some form or fashion you take the L. So one of the things we do with our pups, and I'm very selective with how we invite people into our space, because realistically I have the kennel partners I kind of need at this moment in time, so I'm not looking for more partners. If you open up a business, you don't want a bunch of people involved in your business. You want the right people involved, A-list people who are interested in the progress of the program. So in this case, I don't do pupbacks. I've worked a few of these deals because I know the people for a very long time, and I trust them because they don't live and die by dogs. They don't need the dogs to survive, thrive, or be successful. Those are the kind of people, if you do these deals with, you want to work with. Co-own deals, I'm not a fan of. I don't ever want no pupback deal. I'm not splitting no litter with nobody, and if I do split the litter, I'll just give you the profits. And this is applicable at times if you do this. So if I give you a female, I say, hey, we're going to co-own this female. And in co-own this female, you're going to take care of her. You're going to be responsible for her doctor's bills. You're going to feed her. I'm simply just going to do what? I'm going to do the breeding. I'm going to whelp the litter for you. And in that litter, I'm going to split the profits for you, with you, or give you 30% of the litter. Normally, if it was me, I would do 50-50 just because hopefully you've done such a great job. It ain't even about the money. It's about a lot of times when you do a co-own situation, I actually need the dog. I need the dog to continue to move the vision forward, and I can't keep all the dogs. So, hold on real quick. Watch this dude here, man. He be eating some crazy stuff. And then he's cost us already $2,000. I don't know what he's chewing on to fix, and he threw up a little towel the other day. I tell you, trying, man. I tell you, trying. So here are two things I want to show you. This is your ABKC paperwork right here. On the back of this thing, somebody signs their signature. I get to fill out that now the dog is owned by Fit Bully Kennels. The guy on this, he said, hey, if you okay with it, do you mind putting down our kennel as well? So it's like a co-owned / created this dog with this person. I said, we'll see. We'll see. This is actually, make sure I block the number here, because you know some of y'all be out here paper hanging. This is actually a certificate of paperwork for one of my dogs. So it's official registration certificate from the ABKC and all the dogs in our pedigree. You see this right here? Oh, snap. I have my name signed on the back. This is my dog. If I were to sign the dog over to a new person, I would sign it and say, hey, and they would mail this in on the co-owned side. If I gave this dog away, this dog's never leaving, to be clear. Most of my dogs are never leaving. But that's the registration. So if I have this makes the litter very valuable. Very, very, very valuable. If I have this is how I start my program. This is how I start building my name. This is how I start saying I produced, or this is my dog, whatever the case may be. But the shakedown, it happens every day. And you want to know why the shakedown is even possible? The shakedown is possible because some of you are in a rush to get a few bucks. Some of you are living and dying by the dogs, and you need the money because someone told you you was going to get rich off dogs. How I look at it is, if I have to do this to get to this, or I sell you $12,000 dog and say, hey, you gonna buy a $12,000 dog, you gonna keep a female, we gonna split the next litter. That's me saying I don't have a good business. I don't have a good business. I don't have a great brand. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in this for the money. I have no interest in the dog. And there's no longevity in this type of program. Now, here's the way in which some people have been successful. And I asked my guy this morning, I was on the phone with my buddy Ruben. I said, Ruben, what have been the two things in the 30 years that you've seen in this space that have yielded a lot of success for people? And he said, how extreme they are willing to go. And that's even in the Frenchie space. The more extreme, the worse quality of life for the dog. The more extreme on the bully side, from the XXL to the 140 pound to the XXXL bullies per se, the faster you get some financial success. But longevity wise, how long is that actually going to last? How long does it actually last when there isn't really a solid plan of action, if that makes sense? So be careful of the shakedown. Because it's happening every day, and in my experience, it's because people don't have a solid business plan. And if you need the dogs to be successful, then in my opinion, you'll never be successful. Not long term. Success, again, is not measured off of what you can get. It's about what you can keep. Keep that in mind. So, no $12,000 dog and split no litter. No pup back deals so they can keep the paperwork and screw you over. Choose wisely when you do, if you have to do your co-owns. But I would encourage you to pick the Jordan out of every litter and keep it to the best of your ability. Put it in the hands of people who have a full-blown job and are obsessed with just taking care of the dog, loving the dog, being there for the dog, learning from the dog, living with the dog, protecting the dog, allowing the dog to do some protective work, pushing the dog. Those are the things you want to be mindful of, all right? But I had to do a video on the shakedown because when he reached out to me, he says, hey, this person's trying to do this and that to me. What do you think? I said, I think it's a bad situation. I think they're trying to get you. I mean, it makes sense, right? That they're trying to play you like some soybean chocolate milk. And they don't really have interest in you being successful because there's no way for you to, like, if this was a real, let's say he's running a real business. So he's $12,000 invested in one female, then he splits the litter. Let's say they have 5 females, and the guy didn't wants to sell the pups between $6,000 and $9,000. Well, $6,000 and $9,000, 5 times 6 is 30. 15 of the thousands going back. He barely makes his money back in the first breeding, which is fine because you should technically just break even anyway. But even more importantly, he might still not have the paperwork. Because in order for this guy to feel comfortable with doing a pup with a splitting the litter, he's like, I got to keep the papers. So now you take care of the dog, and he's like, oh, I'm just going to keep the papers. Now you screwed. There's too many variables in this thing where people are playing games. So I tell people, buy your dogs and run away from the people that you got the dogs from immediately. They hit me with any of this stuff here, we have nothing else to discuss. Good luck. I'll find another way. Okay? Stay tuned. We'll talk more about this at another time. But I had to enlighten you just a tad bit today. As always, thank you for watching.